Hello, lovelies. Thanks for joining Hearthside's Curious Tales. Today we will be finishing our journey with Zelia in Part 4 of Broken Bonds, a Juneteenth tale. So sit back and enjoy this animated story with me. Maman called out orders to the women and Claude directed the men. I was told to dance with those calling on the Loi and offered sacrifices of what we had been able to gather. For us, the storm seemed to subside in a bubble around us. It was like being in the eye of a storm, if the eye were following you on your travels. After the first day, the storm had dissipated. However, we started to see larger ships and we knew we needed to get off the ship before we were discovered. The Loi had warned us not to land in Texas if we could avoid it. I was going to dance for Calliope in my necklace, but she told me how to meditate so I could see her and communicate without expending energy I would need for spells. Then she walked me through a spell to make us unseen to the other ships on the water. In the light of day, draw their eyes away. Merge the light and remove us from sight. I spent days meditating and repeating the invisibility spell over and over. The only times I stopped were to eat and drink, relieve myself, and to give directions from Calliope towards safe lands. I didn't even sleep until we reached Matamoros. We found shelter and I was allowed to sleep for 3 days before we continued on our quest. It was a full week before we met any other humans. Calliope and I felt safe enough that I wasn't expending any energy for spells. It was hard to concentrate because we had to ration our food and water and keep moving through some of the worst heat I had ever experienced. I'd never even considered before that a place could be so hot. When we met Celine, it was as we were approaching the first town we had seen on our travels. She saw us and dropped the basket she had been carrying. She yelled for her daughter and husband and they all helped us inside the town's barn, because there were too many of us to fit in their home. We offered to work for the Tamaulipas town people in exchange for assistance helping us get to a city where we could start our own settlement, but Celine wouldn't hear of it. She gathered all of us and the townspeople and told us her plan to build homes for all of us here. "This is your home now," she claimed emphatically, and the rest of the townspeople cheered. My heart soared. It was a soul-altering experience. We spent several months building our homes, and Celine and her wonderful town became our true home. Some months after that, my great-grandmother arrived at our home after Calliope had taught me how to reach out to her through astral projection. Monifa spent the rest of her days with us and was an absolute joy to learn from. Celine also taught me the magic of the brujeria. I became an eclectic priestess of many studies of magic. A squad of my people and I traveled out with supplies every few months, and we helped other enslaved people escape across the border. We didn't stop until June 19th, 1865, when the enslaved in Texas were finally freed. They called it Juneteenth, and all the Loi and I celebrated it joyously with them. Happy Juneteenth. Thanks again, lovelies. That is the end of our story time today. Please like and subscribe to join me for more weekly animated stories, and have a lovely day. Goodbye.